Hey everybody, and welcome to the Clearly Podcast, Episode 4, When Hybrid Models Save the Day, with host Shailen Chudasama, Tom Goff, and myself, Andy Clark. In this episode, we explain what a Power BI hybrid model is, how you go about deploying hybrid models, and of course, when they save the day. Tom, if I could ask you to define a hybrid model within Power BI.
Broadly speaking, a hybrid Power BI model is a model that uses a combination of both import and direct query.
Where we typically find good use cases are where you're trying to use get data in, let's say direct query from a data source like a finance package or financial package or an ERP package or any other where it's a little bit more structured. So imagine you've got your finance data coming in now, and as part of that, you haven't quite set up, or you don't really use budgeting or forecasting within there, and you have separate budgets in the organization because a lot of people use things like Excel for budgeting, and so they would send multiple departments a template, fill this out, but it only changes so often. It's a quarterly process or a half-year process. So that's a good example where you can just bring that in and import that data in. Other use cases are where you have common kind of data and it doesn't really change. So things like names, IDs, departments, cost center codes, and you just import this in, and you can import it in from some kind of static file, a CSV file, an Excel file.
So you're looking to combine more static data that doesn't change on a frequent basis, so then for a self-refreshing import model is okay, with the benefits of direct query having live data. What's the benefit for a customer to do this?
When you're bringing in budget data from a spreadsheet, that's not something that you can typically use a live connection with or a direct query against a spreadsheet. Whereas because of data volumes, you might need to use a direct query against the general ledger, because a general ledger will typically generate many hundreds of thousands, millions of rows over the course of a year. Budget data that's in your spreadsheet won't be generating that volume, so it wouldn't be pushing you towards the need for a direct query model. And if it's sat in an Excel sheet, a direct query model for the Excel sheet is out of the question. So it can often be used where you've got that sort of mismatch of volumes of data as well.
Yeah, so benefits would be things like the processing. It's a little bit more up to date, the information.
It usually comes up in almost any Power BI project of any real size. You're going to come up with some sort of hybrid model at some point during the course of that project. Sometimes almost unavoidable that you're going to get to a point where you have these static data sources where you can't take a direct query against them, but at the same time you have sources that you need to be viewing at a much more up-to-date state. So you often have that sort of static lookup data that's in files, but also live data you want to be viewing all the time. So any situation where that occurs, you've got an issue where you need to use a hybrid model at that point.
We have many examples of, even at a prototype or even a proof of concept phase, they say, no, this is the data and we'll just want to go live against that data, direct query. And then all of a sudden they go, well, actually, we need to append it with a bit more data, but we don't hold that data there. So here we go. Can you just put that file in? And so, yeah, we can. And it's just that flexibility to do that.
Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to contact us, come on over to clearlycloudy.co.uk for the UK and Europe, or clearlysolutions.net for North America.